The Pinball Enterprise. So, secondary hole. I'm down to the point where I need to do just a little bit of filling right through here on the secondary hole. And I got to sand a little bit on the neck here. And I'm pretty much done with that. I just got to put the saucer on and wire everything up and make everything go down the tube all the way down. So I can have just two wires and then we can go from there. But anyway, the saucer, I got it all assembled. And basically, I didn't want to bore everyone, but mini clamps all the way around just to give it a good tight bond. And got the wires out there so I can fish them through the neck, wire them up with everything else. And then, but anyway, that's kind of going to be last. I'll try to show everyone getting it wired up, but I may have to actually glue the saucer on. So if you missed that part, I apologize up front because it's just one of those, that I might have to do. But the nacelles, I got them wired up, got them mostly assembled, and I just got to add, parts that go in the back and everything. I took Tamiya clear blue, and basically just took an eyedropper and dropped it in the clear part here, and then just washed it around, so it gives it a nice good tint. As you can see, barely see the decal in there with the tint in there, and plus you really can't see it with the light. But anyway, it lights up good. Tinted the sides there, so when you have it on, you can it glows just a tad. Got to do the back here, and then of course I'll do some extra painting to get them all looking good. This kit fits extremely well, except for right there. I don't know why it just would not go together. I mean, it's just almost there, but not either. So I'm gonna have to break out the super glue over there. I'm gonna have to put a little bead, just a little with the toothpick, and do some accelerator and some clamping just to get that. And of course, I drop it naturally. So I need to get that clamped down, and I just don't know why that won't fit. I mean, everything else just popped into place except for that. And a little bit on the front here, but anyway, I want to get that accomplished today or tomorrow. And then we will go in with, it's probably buried up here, but not black tulip, but we'll go with white tulip, and we'll do some tulip work and do some very little putty work just to get everything hunky-dory. But anyway, that's where I stand on the Pinball Enterprise. And then hopefully, I'm at the point where I need to basically get all the sub-assemblies done, get it wired, and get everything assembled. And then I can go in there and fine-tune everything after that, but at least the stability of it's the main issue right now. But anyway, that's where I stand on that. The Spitfire, I basically been doing this every Sunday, and last Sunday I did the fuselage. So this Sunday, and I've been tinkering with the propeller here, and what I'm going to have to do is I was trying 5-minute epoxy, which it ain't really, it works but not either. So what I'm going to do is take wherever I got it, epoxy sculpt. I'm going to shove it in the hole here. I'm going to make an indentation, and then I'm going to pull it back out. Then I'm going to super glue it and put it back in, so it'll be good and tight and strong, and then it'll be able to spin and take up the revolutions when the propeller spins. But anyway, that's where I am on that. So hopefully more on that this week if time permits. The BHP0786. I have to start calling it the 7201 because the 72 is different from the 7201. So, the 7201, what I've done so far is I took MIG's Dark Track, which is my favorite track color right now. I did get the track all airbrushed on, top and bottom and on the sides, and if you get some on the road wheels, it don't really matter because we're going to go back in and do some pigments and some weathering and all that. And then I took German gray, which I'm here to tell you, I was down to the nitty gritty. Where's the good light at? I mean, I had to scrape the bottom. I didn't hardly have anything, but which is cool though, because it actually faded the paint a little bit more. And I don't have any more of this. I'm gonna have to go get some, which is one of my favorite German grays. But if you can see where it's very lightly that I did, it was so super thin paint. It was just, I think it looks pretty darn slick. Then I took, what did I take? I took German camo brown, and I did the same thing with the dark gray there. I actually thinned this really thin and went in there, and I did it a little bit darker. I actually did it 2 coats, light in some places, darker in the other, because I like to make camo just a tad bit different. Now I didn't do any pre-shading, and I'm gonna do that after, and it's just basically just to get a little bit of a stain, not a stain, but like streaks. And then I'm going to go with pigments, and I'll start doing that later this week. But my next thing I have to do is I got to take my surface primer here, which I did with the base coat, this is my new favorite style paint. It works. It shoots out of the bottle beautifully, and but I got to take this, and I got to take Mr. Wherever it is, well, I'll just say this for example. I got to take Mr. Brush, and I got to do little dots. I got to do gray dots for certain areas, and then I got to do the tire yellow in the darker areas, and we're just going to do little polka dot deals, and then we can hopefully do some finishing work, and then of course put some decals and all that good stuff. Anyway, the BHP0786, that's where I stand on it. So it's taking shape. The baby driver car. Now this week's going to be boring on this car project. I actually started. I got most of everything masked off. I got to go and finish masking the back here, and then the few little other areas. But I did take epoxy sculpt, and I actually filled in both the top and top side of the hood, and also the front end of the grill there. So what I'm going to do is I got to sand that down just a tad, and I started sanding this down, which it's basically lumpy. I mean, you can get it smooth, but so I just been sanding. So basically the rest of this week is going to be me sanding this, and then I gotta mask everything off because I'm going to have to sand it and shoot some primer, which I'm probably going to be out, and just going to sand, primer, sand, repeat. So that'll be a little bit boring this week. So anyway, I just wanted to warn everyone on that. So that's what I got going on today. We are putting the camo on the VK7201. We are doing some body work here at Brad's Automotive, and we are continuing subassembling the Pinball Enterprise. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.